Shall we begin?
Let's begin now.
Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I thought before I go ahead and go into how I design a card on my Gypsy, I want to go ahead and take everything that I've shown you how to do, and we'll go and do a simple, quick and easy card. And this is going to be something, if you want to go ahead and cut it out, you can certainly do that. But I just wanted to review everything that we've gone over so that if I'd done anything too quickly and you didn't understand it, we can do that now. So we're going to pick a new project, and then we're going to choose the 12 by 12 mat, and then I'm going to actually, rather than opening as a template and choosing my template for a 4 1/4 inch card, we're actually going to put on our mat the size of a 4 1/4 inch card, and then we'll do our designing. So as you can remember from before, or as you know from before, I'm going to take off my aspect ratio so that I can put in my height and width. And I'm going to start out with my height, and I'm going to tap in the height, and then I'm going to tap the number pad, and I'm going to type in or tap 4.25 because I want the height of my card to be 4 1/4. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on my, do you remember what this is called? It's okay if you don't. Just know you need to go down here and tap this to get your overlay of the last, or whatever cartridge you were working on or want to work on. And the last cartridge I was working with was with the 3 birds straight from the nest, but I need to get a square so that I can lay out the front of my card. So if you don't remember what cartridge has a square on it, you can go ahead and tap the cricket bug and then tap up here in the top right and type in or tap the word square, and then your Gypsy will bring up all the cartridges that have a square, and then if you own that cartridge, you can pick that cartridge. But I'm just going to go ahead and use the Planting School Book because I believe everyone received that one when they got their Gypsy. So we'll choose that one because I know the Georgian Basic is hard to find. So I'm tapping on my Planting School Book, and then I'm going to hit my shift lock because I know that there's a square in the Planting School Book, and it is key number 42. So I will tap on key 42, and that's going to put it up here in my menu bar, and then I'm going to tap my mat. So now I have a square that is, right now it says the width is 4.41 and the height is 4.25. But I want my width to be 5.5. So, and the other thing I want to do is I want to turn on the real dial size. And I'll tell you why I did that. Because if you now look at it, it says the height is still 4 1/4, but my width is 4.26. With the real die size off, it says my width is 4.41. So I want it to be an actual 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. So that's why I turn on the real dial size. So let's tap in the width and tap on your number pad and type or tap in 5.50. So there is my 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. And this would be the front of my card. So now what we want to do is, I'm just going to go ahead and put my aspect ratio back on for right now. And I'm going to leave the 4 1/4 there. I next want to go ahead and start adding to the card. So we're going to do something that's really, really simple. And I'm going to choose something that I know everybody has. We're going to go to the Gypsy font cartridge. The Gypsy font and the Gypsy Wanderings was included when you purchase your Gypsy. So everyone should have that. So actually, I think we'll choose the Gypsy Wandering. And this is what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and pick key number 5, which is address. And we're going to put that up in our menu bar up here. And then the next thing I'm going to grab is, let's see, I know there's a shoe. You know, I love shoes, so we'll put a shoe on there. So we're going to tap the shoe, which is right here, which would be button number 38. And then I'm going to add those two to my mat. So now as you can see, they're grouped together and they're way too big for my card. So I can go in, make sure you take your real dial size off as well. I can go in now and I can go and tap and then get my number pad and actually tap in the size that I want. But rather than doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and tap here and just make it smaller so that it fits on my card, like so. So it'll look like that. And I think I want to make it, and that comes up and it says it's 1.81, but I want it to be bigger than that. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap my number pad and type in 2.5. And then there you have it. Now I did notice, as you can see, my shoe is hanging over a little bit on my card. So what I can do is I can ungroup this. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't in camera frame. I can ungroup this by just tapping on just the shoe, and it will turn purple. So that means whatever I do now, as far as width, it will only touch just the shoe. So I'm going to tap into my height button and I'm going to change that to 2.25. So now my shoe is 2.25 and my dress is 2.5. So now I want to make sure those two are grouped together again. So I just went ahead and tapped the shoe and now they're both grouped together, as you can see when I move them around. So that is the review for our basic tab. So let's just do a little review with the advanced tab. Now with the advanced, supposing I decide I want to rotate my shoe, even though, and I want it to go in the other direction, meaning I want it to go that way. So I'm just going to tap on my shoe and I'm going to hit this button right here, which will flip. So now my shoe is facing the other way. And if I wanted to, I could take and make my shoe go that way. Now, when it cuts, it really is not going to matter because you're going to put it on your card the way you want. What I'm basically doing is I'm just saying I want it to look like this on my card. So that's why I'm setting it up like that. So let's flip this back, and when it cuts out, my shoe would cut facing that way to my left. Supposing I decide I want my shoe to be slanted a little bit. And I don't use this feature that much. Actually, I've only used it when I've been doing this tutorial because I just realized what this feature does. But if I tapped on my shoe and I just started doing my up arrows, it will slant my shoe by a half an inch going to my right. Now, if I decided I really didn't want that, I could just go up in here, tap this, and tap my number pad and take that back to 0. It will put my shoe back the way it was. The other thing I could have done, and we can do that, I can go and hit the undo, and it will put it slanted back. And then I can hit the undo again. It'll put it back the way it was. So that's going back and forth. With your either your slant, typing in the number or tapping in the number, or just going ahead and using your up and down arrows. So now let's see what else we have on the advanced tab. We do have our copy feature, so if I wanted to copy the whole thing, I could hit the copy, and now I have it twice. So let's go ahead and we're going to delete that one and put that back. And we can also do welding. So I'm going to tap my shoe, and then what I'm going to do is use my arrow keys or buttons and move over, and I'm just going to move the shoe over just a little bit. And when we do the welding, you have to have things grouped together. So I'm going to make sure that I go back to my basic tab and weld the shoe and the dress together. So now they're welded together. And when I'm doing this, this is just so that I want the two to cut out and be connected to each other. So that's what welding does. So now, the other thing we have to make sure, and I'm going to bring this up, is that now, because I have them grouped, I now need to make sure that they are actually welded. So I'm going to hit my weld button. And then if I click or tap my eyeball, you'll see that they've turned red, and you'll see a little gray in here, and that's connecting the two together so that when they cut out, they will cut out as one rather than cutting separately. So now, as you remember, these two buttons over here to your left of your Gypsy, they are, the zoom button is the top and the bottom is the pan. I believe I said they both were pan, but the panning mean if I tap on that, it's going to, I first have to remember to take the eyeball off. It's just going to move. First let's tap to make it larger. So now it's out of my view. I can't really see it, but I don't want it to move anywhere on my mat. So I'm going to hit the pan button, which is the bottom left button, and then I can move this up within my view. And then if I hit the zoom button, it will take it back to the size of the mat, the regular size, but it has not moved anything within here. So that's just our little quick review of Gypsy 101. Now when we come back, what I'm going to do is, I've gotten a lot of requests from subscribers asking me if I could show how I actually design and then cut and then create a card. So since I have to do a birthday card for my sister-in-law, when we come back, that's what I'll be doing. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.